This is a Let's Play of the game Song of Memories. This is a very good visual novel, and I'll also say this is the origins of VTubers as far as I'm concerned. I played this game on a PS4 back in 2017, I think? Or 2019? No, 20... I got the game in 20... I got this game in 2019 for a PS4. Though this game actually was made, I believe, in 2017. Though it may have been the Japanese version and didn't get released in America till 2019. Main point being is I picked up this game from a GameStop for a PS4 back in 2019. Played it and platinumed it back in 2019. I haven't played it since, but it's a very good game. Other visual novels I would very strongly recommend would be Raging Loop, AI, The Somnium Files, the original Deathmark game, and Data Live, which technically has 4 games, but you can buy the trilogy of the first 3 games on the PS4 online store, but there's a 4th game that I don't know if will ever be available in America, plus there's stuff that's going on with games that, have to get translated and stuff, so I don't know if we'll ever get it. I do know Marvel vs. Capcom is supposed to get a Steam release at some point, and they're supposed to be remastering... Sorry, I had to cover up the microphone and try to cough away from it. Gex, Enter the Gecko and Gex Deep Cover Gecko, great games. They were both on the N64, but also primarily I played them on the PS1. Also, there's a game called Rollin' Rascal. Looks like it'd be a really good platform, but I'm not sure if my computer will handle that. This game is a very good visual novel, and I won't spoil anything about the story, but it's a very good visual novel, and I'll probably be playing a lot of it. And I will also try to, once again, 100% it. Also, while doing so, I probably will not cut anything, just because in general I don't like editing or cutting any out of videos. So perhaps in part like 80, there might be a lot of just sitting as we go through rapid skipping. Kind of like how I did with, there's a visual novel called The Letter, which is a very good, game, but it's extremely long. But yeah. Also, as you play this game, there's tons of galleries, tons of music. There's, in fact, tons of different title screens that you can unlock. In fact, every time you sit here for a bit and it loops around, it uses one of the main characters to voice the lines of the Emoto stuff. So you're actually getting different characters to talk each time. Same way when you go through the options menus, there's you have fully voiced dialogue of people actually talking in your menus, which in some situations can suck if it's repetitive, but 1, the voices are very pleasant, and 2, they're actually varied. It's not the same person all the time, nor are they saying the same thing. And you can have so much, freedom in just what you change into the background. You could actually have a background of all the, main characters just there, in just formal clothes, normal clothes. You could have everyone in swim clothes. You could have everyone there in their PJs. You could have various romantic pictures. You have various just cute, adorable pictures. The music's awesome. But here's the thing. This game was made in 2017. It released, I was able to buy it. Released in America in 2019. I bought it in 2019 for a PS4. Now, I don't know exactly when VTubers began to exist. I don't know when they first started to exist in the wild. Something like when how Ditto was made in, the original Pokemon series, and then quickly they, quickly spread across all the regions. Which again, if Ditto's spread that far, there's some interesting stories about that. But the main point being is this. This was made in 2017, even by 2019. I don't really know if there were any VTubers that even existed. But the main thing I'm trying to say is, This is a very good visual novel, and the characters in this game, I believe, use the earliest forms of the VTuber technology. And of course, there's not like a computer camera like taking pictures to record people, but it may have actually been how they, set it up. I think some form of the early rigging, air quotes, that exists for characters, VTubers. I think that was used to make this game. Now, granted, I would like to see a visual novel made using, the most up-to-date, like high-end VTuber technology that exists, like the best of the best. But I do think that when this game was made, heck, even by 2019 when released in America, I think that the characters in this game used perhaps the highest quality that would have been possible or ever available to anyone to use for a VTuber model. So that's something to keep in mind as you look at the way the characters' faces are, or just the way the models are on the game. So, if anything, this game is the origin, as far as I am concerned, of the existence of VTubers. And I think the same technology used to make this game is largely responsible for the first generation of VTubers that ever exist. Then again, I'm a person who originally I got into YouTube as a person who just watched YouTube back in the days of like Ultra J-Man and Proton John, Rom Scout, Cloud 8745. I remember watching Ultra J-Man playing I Want to Be the Guy, or his playthrough with Rom Scout of the game of How to Be a Bastard, How to Be a Complete Bastard. It's a very funny videos. As well as Proton John doing various Mario ROM hacks, Slow Beef with Dead Rights and Dead Rights Retribution. I enjoyed lots and lots of Let's Plays. It was good to watch. I always wanted to make Let's Plays myself, and then I just didn't have the resources needed to do that. But I really enjoyed watching Let's Plays. I remember watching Ultra J-Man do a 24-hour stream of the original Battle Kid game, and especially the custom levels with Petunia X. The Battle Kid games look like they're very good, but they look like they're extraordinarily difficult. But I remember watching Let's Plays back on YouTube when no one even knew what a YouTube was. And it was just really fun to watch. I really enjoyed Let's Plays. But 99% of the population didn't even know YouTube existed. Also, that was a time back then which ads didn't exist. There were no ads on YouTube, and no one made any money for any reason. There were no ads, there was no monetization. Everyone was just, hi, I'm here to upload cat videos because I think it's cool. Or hey, I'm going to make a silly YouTube poop, which is a sort of early evolution. The starting Charles Darwin of a Bridge series, where it was just like people making poorly edited cartoons of actual cartoon or game footage to make their own silly jokes. Heck, I know everyone's familiar with Team 4-Star with their Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I also remember watching Gozar, who was just a single dude by himself doing all the voices and I'll tell you this, his editing style was all over the place. He made like 100 different episodes, but he started at the Cell Song and he just jumped all over. It's like, imagine Team 4-Star, but everything's extremely autistic and ADHD ridden, which it's not an insult. I'm just saying it's chaotic, and you just need to be prepared for that level of chaos. I'm not saying it's bad. If anything, I'm saying Gozar is incredibly good. After all, I strongly recommend it. It's great comedy. It's just sometimes it's very lowbrow humor and stuff like fart jokes. Yes. I mean, there's an episode where Piccolo wants to save Celine Dion. Okay? Or, Vegeta's like, I'm gonna tell you the story about being a Super Saiyan. And everyone's like, we'd rather hear the story about you and Bulma. Or about how to be a Super Saiyan, or just lots of very lowbrow humor. But then again, there's also lots of people that were inspired by Team 4-Star that have just done not only a Bridge series of all sorts of shows, but also have done just silly abridged things in regard to Dragon Ball Z that were also very funny. Heck, even when there was people that actually did a BoJack Unbound abridged, and again, there was very limited that they could do with BoJack, but I liked it. Damn, my memory is. I was gonna mention another anime thing, but I can't remember what it was. My short-term memory is getting worse. But I really wanted to say that, and I really wanted to say whatever that other thing was. Oh, I remember. I actually remembered. Yes, thank you. HBI 2K. I was wanting to mention. Granted, he was more so known for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series, which was very popular back then. I don't know if anyone really watched it more. I mean, but I'll tell you this. He did a Berserk abridged, and I liked how he handled the ending of Berserk. Now I'll say this: if you have not watched if you're not familiar with the story of Berserk, don't watch HBI 2K stuff. It would spoil the story for you. You should watch the original anime without. Basically, if you don't know the story, then don't let anybody spoil you, and just watch the original anime. You should experience that for yourself. Having the story unfold, and after all, usually there are certain things that aren't spoilers, like Darth Vader or Goku being a Saiyan, simply because, a medium's been around long enough. But I do think there'd be enough people that if you haven't watched Berserk, that you're probably not spoiled about the story. And I wouldn't want to spoil the story for you. Now, HBI 2K, his abridged series of it, is very good, especially the ending. But you really, really, really need to watch the actual anime first. Otherwise, I think you'll ruin a very good... But then again, I should probably stop talking about this because I could keep talking about anime forever and ever and ever. But I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts about this game or other visual novels or other animes or music or bands you like, I'm a very big person who advocates A Perfect Circle. Like the band A Perfect Circle. It's very closely related to Tool. But yeah, I strongly, strongly suggest to people to listen to the band A Perfect Circle and Tool. Let's hop into this. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk about anime and want to see these VTubers that I keep talking about. Okay, our name is Minato Kamashiro. Welcome to the first 20 minutes of the game where I ramble about anime and then I am very indecisive. This story is fiction. The person or organization names appearing as fictitious and not related to actual ones. October 1st, Monday after school gym. Makoto Asukaya. Satoru, did you see that? You saw it, didn't you? Yeah, well, I certainly saw something. Dude, why are your reactions always so bland? Come on, you saw that, didn't you? Yeah, I saw it. I totally saw it. Wow, I feel like there's a store in my heart. No, scratch that. That was acting, wasn't it? Yeah, that body, that superior acting is Oka, Academy's crown jewels. Without it, there's no reason for me to go back to school. Guys? Yuno, go for it. We're your faithful cheering squad. Right here, especially me. Hey, how dare you upstage me, honorary life president of the Yuno fan club. Uh-oh, perverts at 10 o'clock. What? Did you call it? What did you call us? We're not perv. Ertz? Oh, Satsuki. It's Satsuki Tsushima, from the senior class. She's not in the rhythmic gymnastics club, but she's always here for some reason. She calls herself Yuno's exclusive mentor. Well, at the very least, she does a good job shooing away all the boys who come to watch Yuno's practice. Satsuki, what are you doing here? I thought you already went home for the day. I haven't gone home. I'm here. Right. So, our intentions are pure. We merely came here to wish Yuno good luck with her practice. But why the cold stare? You're trying to tell us something? Hey, you don't need to stare at me like I'm pond scum. My intentions aren't devious. Satsuki? Is something wrong? But you guys see what I mean by the VTuber thing, right? Again, this is very early gen. It was made in 2017. But still, I think this kind of technology, the way it's set up for these characters, I think this is kind of where things started becoming like the type of models used for VTubers. You know, please clear up this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Who's misunderstanding anything? Oh, it's just Makoto and the gang. You guys seem to come here every day. Of course we do. We're the Yuno fan club. Neither Yuno nor myself accept that club is legitimate. Oh, don't be such a downer. Gross. Go home. But we're just... Go home, then die. But Satsu, now... This is just too much. Come on, Makoto, let's just go. Maybe Satsuki will forgive us soon. Satsuki, don't you hear what Satoru is saying? Maybe it's about time. Also, by the way, this game has many different endings. Well, if you say so, Yuno, Suzuki. Take those things away with you. Understood. Come on, guys, let's go. Now, that being said, there is extreme variety in what happens in the story later on. Both good and bad things. I mean, there's possibility everyone lives happily ever after. There's a possibility that everyone here dies. I'm not exaggerating. There's a good possibility that there is a scene later in the game where, like, we're going to be, like, in the middle of the gymnasium and, you know, people are going to... I mean, you're not going to graphically see anything, but people will be dying. That's a possibility. I don't want to say... I already feel like I've spoiled a little bit of the story by saying that, but I also feel that that might be something to help, I don't know, make people feel it's not going to be just your normal little rom-com dating sim game. Again, I feel like I somewhat spoiled the story, but I'm just saying it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows the whole game. So I don't know if that spoils the story or not. Same time, I'm just hoping it actually just makes people interested in the game. I don't know. Damn, fine. Guess there's no hope for us if she's got an exclusive manager. And now again, I would suggest this game to people, but in general, especially from what I read in reviews, the PS4 version does work better. And if you are to buy the game, wait for it to be, like I did, 80% off, like for a summer sale. So definitely don't pay full price for it. But you can buy it for like 80% off and save quite a bit of money and buy it for very, very cheap. Though I would say might be better to buy it on PS4, but I think it should work fine. If it can run on my computer, it can run on anybody's. Damn fine. Guess there's no hope for us if she's got an exclusive manager. We're done for the day. Let's go home. Sure. Come on, Makoto. Okay, fine. See you tomorrow, you know. Be gone. Bye, Satoru Makoto. See you in class tomorrow. That was scary. Why is Satsuki so intimidating? Intimidating? Well, yeah, she does have an odd punch to her. But her manner of speech is pretty docile. I don't think you need to be scared of her. Nope. You just don't get it. You don't know the depths of her terror. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't want to know. Besides, I think most of her antagonism is directed at you. What do you mean? I mean, you're a bit too sick in the head. What do you mean sick in the head? You're no better. Your thirsty eyes were glued to Yudo just like mine. Thirsty? Speak for yourself. I wasn't there of my own free will. You dragged me along with you. But like I said, look at the way the facial expressions are, and even just how they seem to move. I can't remember, take a moment to look at them, I'm pretty sure they have a breathing animation? And they at least move a little bit, sway back and forth. You bastard, you play the good boy card. So I get stuck with all the blame? Even Yuno is abnormally nice to you. It just doesn't sit right with me. Lots of things just don't sit right. Well, I've known Yuno since grade school, and I don't look at her with sad, screaming hearts in my eyes. And back to the original subject. Satsuki really isn't that scary. Nope, she's dangerous and vicious, and she must have a reason for being so aggressive. I think I know. What? Maybe she's been infected. You know, with the X virus we've been reading about on the internet. Oh, you mean the video we saw the other day? The virus that makes people lose their minds and go berserk. Yeah, that's the one. Don't you think her aggression has to be caused by the X virus? Oh, could you imagine that, guys? Could you imagine a world where there might be some sort of virus out there? Oh no, I hope this game doesn't descend into something about a pandemic. I will say this, Dark Rose Valkyrie had a very similar storyline with being on a pandemic that occurred. However, I will say this. It's a JRPG game that's also a visual novel, and I'll tell you this. If you just took out all the combat, it would be a good game. It's got good art, good story, good everything. The problem is the combat's so tedious. Every enemy inflicts like 8 different status effects. It's the most tedious JRPG to ever exist. Yeah, right. She's not rampaging physically, like that video we saw. And she hasn't lost her mind. If anything, she keeps scolding you. Very logically. Besides, that video is probably a fake. It looks really flimsy. Well, yeah. It did look pretty cheap. But still, I think Satsuki is being way too illogical. And... okay, I think I'd better get going. Hey, don't cut me off. Sorry, but I've got things to do with Fuka. With Fuka? Then I'll come too. Don't. As her big brother, that's one thing I can't allow. Figured you say that. Fine, fine. Do as you please, sir. Have fun making out with your little sister. I'll just go back to the gym, all alone, and maybe Yuno will help dry my tears of loneliness. Yeah, that's kinda creepy, dude. Please don't. Satsuki will just yell at you again. Dealing with Makoto made me a little late. Let's see, where's Fuka? Gotta stand up for a moment, my back. Well, here is our adopted little sister, Fuka. I don't remember if our parents are already dead. Because, you know, that's usually the way Japanese stories are. I don't know why the story is written that way. You're late. Yikes. Brother, dearest, what were you doing? I almost died of old age waiting for you. But yeah, imagine if they made a game with the most up-to-date VTuber technology. Like pre-made models already, like, and you'd probably have an actual person in front of it to record it. At that point, why don't we just have like the CG suit like the dude wore when he did the motion capture for Gollum? I'm just saying we could make some really high quality visual novels. Oh, it's you, Fuka. Wait. What does the sun setting have to do with you aging to death? Who cares about semantics? Isn't there something else you should tell me first? Huh? Oh right, sorry I'm late, Fuka. Makoto held me up a little. Makoto again? God, he's hopeless. Agreed. Oops. We shouldn't be gossiping about him. Poor Cannon is waiting for us at the hospital. Cannon doesn't have any family in the city anymore. We need to be there for her. Yeah. Her parents died 2 years ago, right? I think she's like our cousin. And our childhood friend. 3 years. I think they died during Cannon's second year in the overseas hospital. Oh, right. And our mom and dad went there but the year before. Yeah. There's our parents too. But why did both her parents die at the same time? Heard it was a lab accident, but the details were a bit vague. So I'm pretty sure all of our parents are dead. Okay. Yeah, and I felt awkward asking Ken for details. Hey, brother. So, but yeah, the main protagonist, we got Makoto as our friend. We have our adopted little sister. We have our cousin, who is... Well, actually, I don't know if she's even our cousin. No, her parents are like best buddies with our parents, which is technically my parents, since Fuka's adopted. So my parents were best friends with some other people who had a kid, and then they died, and then they're sort of became an adopted cousin. We also have our childhood friend who's a gymnast, and her best friend who is basically keeping the guys who are legitimately being creepy and pervy away from her. And then later on we have some woman who is a 6-foot tall, purple-haired woman with very big boobs who works for the government. Okay, that's the main cast, aside from the random other things involved. Try not to spoil things in the story. But I'm also trying to like keep people interested. Then again, why wouldn't you just play the game yourself? Why would you want to listen to me talk over it? Yeah. Accidents suck. True. Yeah. The airplane crashed. Are you sure? Oh, right. Our parents died in a plane crash. Possibly 9/11. Was that a J-Schlatt reference? Maybe. Heck, I remember one point he was like reviewing things for like, you know, people's bedrooms, and someone like had a blanket with his face over it called the Schlanket. And I'm like, how about the Schlavy? You know, just have a stuffed Eevee, but it's like, it's just pictures of J-Schlatt's face all over it. Like I said, J-Schlatt, Asmongold. Cool channels to check out. Raging Golden Eagle, I still want to see a Pokemon show made by him and Asmon. But I talked about that in the horrific Xanatorium video, which is there's a playlist by that name. I'll return to that at some point. It's just this game requires a great deal of data. Like it's a 50 gigabyte game. I literally had to like delete and uninstall almost every game off my computer just to make room for it. Were Mom and Dad really on that plane? Yeah. They left just this morning. Said they were going to academic conference. They promised they'd be home in 2 days. They were smiling. Okay, so me and my adopted sister were being raised by our parents. Our parents are scientists who were best friends of another pair of scientists, and they had a kid, and then they died in a lab accident, so our childhood friend that was their child that has no blood relation to any of us became our adopted cousin, and also my parents adopted my younger sister, and then they died in 9/11. Okay. Doing everything I can to make this Let's Play as offensive as possible to everyone. Also, just so we know, it's a flashback because there's no color. Oh, interesting experiment. If you take someone who's never watched television in their life, which I know, very difficult to find nowadays, but if you find someone who's never looked at a computer screen or a television or a phone screen their entire life, or any kind of electronic screen, and then you were to sit them down in front of a black and white television, within a week, they'll start dreaming in black and white. However, the moment you would then introduce them to a color TV, their dreams will go back to normal. But, hypothetically, if you find somebody who has never seen any kind of colored screen ever before, whether computer, phone, TV, a projector, and it doesn't matter that they see color fine in the rest of the world. If you have someone who's never seen a color television before, and you sit them down in front of a black and white television, their dreams will then be in black and white. It sort of rewires the brain to change your dreams. Even if you were dreaming in color before, you will now dream in black and white. But the moment you look at a color television after that, it fixes it. And it doesn't matter if you only look at the color television once, and then you go back to the black and white TV. No, the change is done. Your brain sort of like figures it out and fixes that. But yeah, if you've never seen a television before, and you all of a sudden get a black and white TV, and you only watch that black and white TV, your dreams will then be in black and white. Hypothetically, if you were to change the color saturation or hue of that, what you're seeing, it would also affect your dreams. For example, if you were to have someone have a color television, but it was only Dragon Ball Z, like literally only DBZ, nothing else at all, your brain would wire your dreams to be purely that. However, if you have more context, then your dream goes more with what's realistic. It finds the colors in the television that are more closely comparable to real life. Also, in general, it can be said that exposure to television screens, computer screens, and phone screens, while it can be very disruptive to the sleep REM cycle, it does increase the rate at which people dream. Not to mention, different parts of just the act of watching a television can activate different parts of the brain. And not just, and here's the thing. One, just the act of looking at a screen at all can have an effect on the human brain, as well as the content you watch. Whether it's like horror, like if you're watching something scary, it might trigger you to have more adrenaline or cortisol. Okay, well, back to the tragic the flying car accident, yeah. Okay, but main point, everyone's dead. Okay. Again, hopefully it didn't spoil the story. It said, like, later on, people will actually be dying, and there might be murders that occur. I mean, there's a happy story where Makoto lives happily ever after with people. There's also an ending where he kills people. Okay. Just saying, the story can get dark, but there's many, 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 many different paths. Heck, there's technically a second act of the game, and depending on how to play the game, you can just have that second act never occur, and the game is just very, very short. I'm not sure if you're required to get that happy ending, quote-unquote, as your first ending or not. I don't know what ending we're going for, So we'll find out later. Why? Why them? Why do they have to get on that airplane? But also, after you play the game enough times, you can get some certain better, happier endings, and it's possible to get much, 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 much worse endings. There's literally an ending called Annihilation where everyone dies as fast as possible. So, there's also ones where everyone's happy. There's also lots of them where just, oh, well, this person dies, but that person's okay. And also, there's a slight rhythm game included in this, but you can choose to not play the rhythm game if you want, which I think is a nice option. That, hey, you can play this if you want, but you don't have to. The chart says Fuka is adopted, but that can't be because Fuka is... I looked into it. It's not a mistake. Fuka was adopted by the Zukis right after birth. Did you not know? Well, of course not. I always thought she was my true little sister. Sure. I was really little when she was born. I didn't know what was going on. Can you not tell Fuka about this? I am not allowed to inform her, so no need to worry about that. Brother? Brother? Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have been a good idea to tell her she was adopted. I mean, this was a couple years ago. I mean, though at that point, if somebody is adopted, what age do you tell them? Come on, brother, why are you spacing out? Huh? Fuka? There you go, spacing out again. What's wrong? Something on your mind? Yeah. Just a little something I was thinking. About what? Huh? Well, about long ago. About the city's history. By context, she should know what we were thinking about. We were literally talking about people's parents dying. The city's history? Yeah, you know, it's called a university town, and we were little. It was a really desolate place, remember? Just college, corporate labs everywhere, and after years of that, it's gotten kind of normal. Now that you mention it, yeah. We even have a huge mall here now. I wonder if Cannon got a good look at the city when she came back. Not sure. She's been shuffled directly from hospital to hospital all this time, so she's probably didn't see much of the city. Nope, we shouldn't even be thinking about that. Come on, let's go to the hospital before visiting hours are over. Alright, let's go. Okay, the elevator is that way. Alright, want to get Cannon a snack? She probably doesn't want anything. It's okay to admit you want a snack for yourself. No, not why I just... Oh, hello kids. Yeah, I think I'll put a link to the horrific sanatorium video. Just because, again, I'll come back to that at some point. It's just, I had to uninstall all my games in order to make enough room for this. It's actually a surprisingly big file for a visual novel. Huh? Oh, hello, Doctor. Cannon's head physician greets us. We already know each other since we visit Cannon all the time. Here to see Cannon again today? Yes. How is she? Her test results have gotten a lot better than they were when she first returned to Japan. I think your visits helped her improve. But really, I hope we really are helping Cannon. You really are. I think your visits give Cannon a lot of courage to go on. Cool. Then we'd better see her today. Is she in her room? Oh, wait a minute. I also have something to deliver to Cannon. I'll go with you. Okay. Hi, Cannon. I brought the documents I was telling you about. Again, you guys get what I mean about the VTuber thing? Again, I understand VTubing technology has come a very long way, even the free stuff that I use. Because even the model I've used is a copyright-free model that's... it's just free to anybody use for whatever. There's multiple things like Warudo that's completely free. And some models are more considered 2D and some are more considered 3D. The music in this game is really good. But like I said, I will return to the other games at some point, and I'm always open to other suggestions for games. But of course, if I ever buy a game, it'll probably be on sale. I know someone has mentioned the idea of me going back to playing Undertale, but again, there are already tons of Let's Plays out there of Undertale. Also, I've watched at least 30 other people do full Let's Plays of that, of all endings. So I know everything. I had my feelings about that game, to where even though I've shot thousands of people in fucking Halo and shit, it's just, even going through on a pacifist route is just, I don't know, it's makes you feel a certain way. But yeah, I'm always open to suggestions. Heck, I'll put links down below to the Horrific Sanatorium as well as the bands I was suggesting. Very good bands. Heck, I'll also put links to those other Let's Players. Granted, I don't think most of them have even been on YouTube forever. Because like I said, I originally was on YouTube before, back in the time where 99% of the human population didn't even know what YouTube was. And everyone thought, oh, YouTube, that's just a phase, that'll be gone in a year. And it was a time back when ads didn't exist. There were no ads on YouTube and not a single person was monetized. And I don't think anyone had any sort of merch or anything. Everyone was just there hey, let's play Mario. Hey, let's make a silly, dumb video about cartoons. Or talk about whatever we're interested. It was more so a place for people just to talk and make a little vlog from their car or their house. I guess a way for a lot of weebs and otakus to just sort of have someone to talk to. Then I eventually got married and, well, I didn't have time for YouTube at all. And keep in mind, at that point I still had never even recorded a video or made a Let's Play. I just, didn't have the technology to do it. But I didn't have free time. My life was basically just, work, family, that's it. I usually would watch maybe an hour of YouTube maximum a year. I would pretty much only hop on YouTube to catch the latest episode of Team 4-Star, because they were still making a new episode of Team 4-Star Abridged every month or so. So, every month, I would hop on there to see if there's a new Team 4-Star. And I would watch, an 8-minute long video of, Goku saying funny stuff. And that'd be pretty much it. Aside from that, heck, I didn't really play video games that much anymore. I might play maybe a half an hour of Assassin's Creed game a week. But aside from that, I pretty much didn't have time for video games or YouTube or anything. I wasn't even watching YouTube. Then after I got divorced, I hopped right back into YouTube quite a bit, was watching quite a few videos, and after about 3.5 years of just watching YouTube again, I started actually making videos myself. And that was about 3.5 years ago, too. Though, of course, a couple months ago, my computer was making some sort of high-pitched whirring sound that sounded like it was going to explode. Which, at that point, there's certainly no... Like, you wouldn't even be able to hear anything. It would just... But it only did it for 2 days, and then the computer was back to normal. Though, I will say this. If that happens again and doesn't get better, I'll probably have to just wait until I eventually buy another computer. Which I don't even know when that would be, because those are a tad expensive. Heck, my computer is like... It's a laptop where it's getting worse about even running some of the more advanced games. And, well, it doesn't even connect to the Wi-Fi naturally anymore. I have to literally plug in an Ethernet cable. I have a 75-foot long Ethernet cable running from my bedroom to my living room. Because my computer just won't connect to Wi-Fi anymore. So. And even, like... I mean, I tried to do a Let's Play of Shadow War once, and it was literally just a PowerPoint presentation of Italian stabbing orcs and me yelling. Though there were some games that played just fine, and then I go back to them and it plays like shit. But there's also some games that played like crap and I'll go back to, and all of a sudden it plays better. So, I don't know. Hopefully this is recording okay. I mean, it's not like we're playing something like Halo, which, again, I had gotten Halo at one point, played some of it. It was a whole lot of fun, but yeah, it's a massive file. I keep hearing people say Halo's going to come to PlayStation. I'll tell you this. If the original Halo trilogy comes to PlayStation, I think just about everyone who has a PS5 is going to buy it, though I think it should be exclusively PS5. Though imagine we have online like Halo matchmaking for the original Halo games on PS5 for people. I think that would be a lot of fun. Though again, like I said, Gex is getting a remaster. There's a game called Roll and Ricky that's supposed to come out. And also, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as well is supposed to come out as part of a collection of like 7 other games for Steam at some point this year. I think that'd be pretty cool. Marvel vs. Capcom is a really good game. I will say this. I usually describe my personality as a mix of, different anime characters. But as far as if I were to describe what type of anime character Dragon Ball Z Fusion would be a good, romantic partner in my eyes in terms of personality and looks, I would say take Albedo from Overlord the anime and roll Casket from Mega Man Legends. One, the Dragon Ball Z fusion of both of them would be extremely beautiful, and I think they would have probably an amazing personality. Because I think both of them would balance each other out perfectly, and basically be an incredible person. I will say this, I still want a Mega Man Legends 3, and I know there was some work for a Mega Man Legends 3, but I think I would like I would want a release on a PS5 that is, it would have the original Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 in their unaltered forms, as well as it would have the Adventures of Tron Bonne, as well as the pseudo early works of what was in the making for Mega Man Legends 3. So you can play it as is, by the old style, as an incomplete version. Just a couple little levels to sort of get a feel of what they were going to try for. But then I would say, how about something that's like Elden Ring level graphics for Mega Man Legends 3? But, here's the thing. You'd have, fusions of different characters. Imagine Gravelord Nito from Dark Souls, but fused with Juno, the final boss of Mega Man Legends. I think... But again, each of those things, I made an idea of a touch grass the game idea. What if you had a VR world that's just, say, you're going around a 3-dimensional world in virtual reality that's, say, the underground lake ruins at Mega Man Legends, or the forests in Brave Fence of Musashi, or in many different games. Heck, imagine if you had a VR world where you're just, walking around Balaam Garden of... Final Fantasy VIII. Or just think of all the different amazing backgrounds and environments in all the Final Fantasy games. Heck, even Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy VI. Imagine full VR worlds you could explore that are based off of those. I mean, heck, imagine taking games from like the NES from back in the 1980s and, you know, making art of them, making it look like it's like PlayStation 5 level tech. Or, of course, I'm sure there's some computers out there that are even personal gaming computers that some people out there have that exceed what a PS5 can do. And I'm sure there's many computers out there that it would definitely be a waste to use it this way, but that could definitely be a lot more powerful than anything somebody has for personal use. But yeah. But I'd say me, different in terms of my personality, I would say do Dragon Ball Z fusions of Sailor Moon and Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho, or fusions of Astolfo and Jack Hanma, or of Chrono Gorgon from Soul Eater and Vash the Stampede from Trigun, or Stein from Soul Eater and Nagisa from Assassination Classroom, or 2003 Testament Guilty Gear XX and Vegeta, or Tsukasa from Dot Hack Sign and Goku, or Shinji Ikari from the original Evangelion and Zelos Battalion from the Slayers anime from the 1990s starring Lena Inverse, Takumi Nishijo from Chaos Head Noah, and Lichtbach Rihito from the anime Plunderer. Chip the Cable Guy is played by Jim Carrey, and Ernest is played by Jim Varney. Date from AI The Somnium Files, and Mikusuki from Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. Mega Man Volnut from Mega Man Legends, and Alucard from Hellsing. And I'm sure there's a couple I'm forgetting. I just felt like we hadn't given this character enough screen time, so I wanted to stay here for a moment. Hi, Cannon. Sup? Fuka, Satoru, you came to see me again today. We met up in the lobby. Oh, cool, huh? Wait, Doctor, does that mean you already explained the situation to them? The situation? What does she mean by that? No, I didn't tell them anything. I thought you'd like to tell them yourself. What is he talking about? Well, I'd better get going. Have fun, you kids. Oh, sure. Thanks. Hey, Cannon, what was the doctor talking about? Oh, right. What's the situation about? Well, you see, I have some news. I get to go back to school with you guys, Satoru. Huh? Is that true? So that means you'll be discharged from the hospital soon. Not for a while. I'll be staying at the hospital while going to school. But the doctor says I should ease back into a normal lifestyle. That will help me recover faster. Oh, cool. That's great. I'm so happy for you. Wow, you get to go to our school. He said you've been getting better and better since coming back to Japan. I have. Thanks. Remember how I left Japan before I started middle school? It was because the Japanese doctors couldn't find a cure for me. That's right. When we said goodbye to her back then, Fuka and Yuna both cried their eyes out. Ever since then, I haven't been able to go to school. I've been studying in my hospital room all these years. So, I can't wait to go back to school with you guys. Look forward to having you back at school too. When do you start? Well, I should end the video. I should try to keep it under an hour.